Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers, 3 reasons why Sharon and Sienna are destined to have bad blood. The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers point to bad blood between Sharon Newman, Sharon Case, and new character Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. Want more of The Young and the Restless? Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless, straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising, as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Report ad. Sienna is adjacent, and maybe more, to Noah Newman's, Lucas Adams, storyline, and that would be enough to set off Sharon. However, where there's smoke there's fire. Let's explore the animosity that seems ready to rip at any moment now. 1. Sharon and Sienna are polar opposites. Sienna and Sharon are nothing alike. Sharon is a concerned mom while Sienna is a haughty nightclub owner. There is something shady about her, and Sharon will immediately pick up on that. Sometimes opposite personalities just clash, and in this particular situation it won't be hard to see why. Red hot. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sienna and Sharon's rivalry will bring unexpected news. Sharon had triplets and not just twins all those years ago. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. 2. Sienna is dishonest about Noah. Next, Sienna is dishonest about Noah, who is in bad shape. This alone would cause Sharon to go scorched earth on Sienna, since she is a fierce mama bear. What is this? Report ad. Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, has Sienna's name in his phone, and she saw him before the crash. When Nick called her, Sienna said Noah was a friend, but hung up before asking about Noah's condition. That was sus, so Nick meets up with Sienna soon and grills her, with Sharon not far behind. Rumors suggest that Sienna's BF, Mitch, who may be played by Roger Howarth, is involved with the mess, which would make her an accomplice if she knows anything. 3. Sharon, Nick and Sienna love triangle. Fans have been calling for a chic reunion, but there may be a roadblock to that. Sienna. While Sienna isn't necessarily giving help during the investigation, she is not the one who hurt Noah. Nick always sees the good in people, and when the truth comes out he could see Sienna in a different light. If Sienna is in trouble, Nick would leap to her defense, as he has done for forlorn women many times in the past. It appears that Nick and Sharon are growing closer. Will Sienna be a sticking point down the road? Tell us what you think. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with The Young and the Restless right now. Come back here often for the hottest Y&R updates, news, and spoilers. Get comfortable, and gain access to the best soap intel on the web. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. The Young and the Restless spoilers, 3 reasons why Sharon and Sienna are destined to have bad blood in Genoa City. Peace rarely lasts for long, and when it comes to Sharon Newman's world, things are about to get a whole lot stormier. Just when she thought she could breathe again after years of heartbreak, loss, and rebuilding her life, a new force named Sienna Bacall has entered the picture, and it's clear she's not here to play nice. While on the surface Sienna appears to be just another ambitious woman trying to carve out her space in town, there's something beneath her charm that's setting off all of Sharon's alarms. As fans know, Sharon has faced her fair share of manipulators, schemers, and heartbreakers, but Sienna might be the most unpredictable of them all. Their paths are colliding in unexpected ways, and it's already sparking a rivalry that could explode into one of the show's most dramatic feuds in years. Here's how and why Sharon and Sienna are destined to clash in a way that could shake Genoa City to its core. Sharon Newman has always been the heart of The Young and the Restless. She's a survivor, a mother, and a woman who's been through emotional battles most people couldn't imagine. From her bipolar struggles to the deaths, betrayals, and fiery romances, Sharon has faced it all and come out stronger. Recently, she's been working to rebuild her life, reconnect with her children, and even explore new love. But when someone like Sienna Bacall steps onto the canvas, Sharon's hard-earned peace becomes vulnerable. Sienna is the kind of woman who thrives on control and charm. She's mysterious, confident, and clever enough to use others to her advantage. Sharon senses it right away, even if others don't. The tension between them doesn't start with shouting matches or thrown drinks. It begins quietly, with looks, words that sting just a little too much, and a mutual understanding that neither trusts the other. But once emotions and egos start to flare, the rivalry will ignite. One major reason Sharon and Sienna are destined for bad blood is Nick Newman. Nick has always been the love of Sharon's life, no matter how many times they've gone their separate ways. Their bond runs deep, it's built on history, heartbreak, and a shared past that no one else can truly understand. But enter Sienna, who has managed to capture Nick's attention in ways that both confuse and intrigue him. Sharon senses something off about Sienna's motives and warns Nick to be careful, but Nick, stubborn as ever, refuses to see what Sharon sees. It's a setup for emotional disaster. Sharon's warnings come across as jealousy, while Sienna uses the situation to manipulate Nick even further. She plays innocent, feigns misunderstanding, and slowly drives a wedge between Sharon and Nick's fragile friendship. It's not hard to imagine Sienna showing up at Sharon's door, all smiles and veiled comments, pretending to be supportive while subtly flaunting her connection with Nick. For Sharon, who's worked hard to find peace and balance, this situation feels like history repeating itself, and it's bringing out a side of her she thought she'd buried long ago. Another reason for the inevitable clash is their connection to the younger generation, especially Mariah Copeland and Faith Newman. Sharon's maternal instincts are fierce, and she doesn't take kindly to anyone influencing her daughters in a negative way. Rumors swirl that Sienna may start bonding with Faith or even working alongside Mariah in some business capacity, only to start sowing seeds of manipulation. Sharon, ever the protector, will see right through it and push back hard. Sienna, on the other hand, doesn't respond well to being challenged. She's not the type to back down or apologize, she'll double down, smiling sweetly while twisting the knife in subtle ways. This dynamic could quickly spiral into an all-out war, especially if Sienna starts turning people close to Sharon against her. Imagine a scene where Sharon overhears Sienna talking to Faith about her mother's past issues, or implying that Sharon isn't as stable as she seems. It would be devastating, and exactly the kind of low blow Sienna seems capable of delivering. The third and perhaps most explosive reason Sharon and Sienna are destined for bad blood is their shared connection to dark secrets. In soap opera fashion, there's always more beneath the surface than meets the eye. What if Sienna has ties to someone from Sharon's past, someone dangerous, like Ian Ward or even Cameron Kirsten? What if her arrival in Genoa City isn't just coincidence but part of a larger plan to settle an old score? Sharon has been targeted before, and this feels all too familiar. Sienna's mysterious background could hide shocking connections that throw Sharon's world into chaos. Maybe Sienna once had dealings with a shady organization that crossed paths with Sharon's old enemies. Or perhaps she's been investigating Sharon for reasons no one knows, until it's too late. The idea that Sienna might have a personal vendetta or ulterior motive adds layers of intrigue and danger to this growing feud. As the tension builds, viewers can expect fireworks. Sharon's calm and composed exterior can only hold for so long before the fiery side of her personality comes roaring out. She's been underestimated before, but when she's pushed too far, she fights back with intelligence and emotional intensity that makes her one of the strongest characters on the canvas. Meanwhile, Sienna thrives on drama. She enjoys control and chaos equally, and watching Sharon lose her cool will only fuel her desire to push harder. The result could be a long-running rivalry filled with mind games, emotional manipulation, and shocking revelations. It's easy to imagine this storyline stretching into one of the show's major arcs, a psychological battle between two strong women, each trying to protect what's theirs while exposing the other's flaws. Sharon's biggest challenge will be holding on to her integrity while defending her family, while Sienna's downfall could come from her overconfidence and inability to see just how dangerous Sharon can be when cornered. The potential fallout is enormous. If Sienna succeeds in turning Nick and others against Sharon, it could reignite old insecurities Sharon spent years overcoming. It might even send her spiraling toward old patterns of self-doubt. But if Sharon ultimately exposes, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Sienna's true nature, she'll prove once again why she's one of the most resilient figures in Genoa city history. Viewers will be drawn in by the emotional complexity, two women from very different worlds, both fighting for control, both haunted by their pasts, and both willing to do whatever it takes to win. Sienna may think she's walking into this feud with the upper hand, but Sharon has weathered every storm imaginable. And in Genoa City, underestimating Sharon Newman has always been a grave mistake. As their feud unfolds, fans can expect scenes filled with tension, heartbreak, and perhaps even shocking alliances. Could Sharon team up with someone unexpected, like Adam Newman or Phyllis Summers, to take Sienna down? Could Sienna's secrets tie her to someone much darker, leading to a dangerous confrontation that changes both women forever? One thing is clear, Sharon and Sienna's relationship is no ordinary rivalry. It's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. The emotional stakes, personal betrayals, and psychological warfare will captivate viewers and solidify this storyline as one of the most gripping in The Young and the Restless history. In the end, only one of them can come out on top, and in true soap fashion, the journey there will be filled with deception, heartbreak, and drama that keeps everyone watching. Whether they destroy each other or discover unexpected truths in the process, one thing is certain, Sharon Newman and Sienna Bacall are destined for bad blood, and Genoa City will never be the same once their feud reaches its breaking point. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon and Sienna are polar opposites, sparks fly as Genoa City braces for impact. Genoa City has seen its fair share of feuds, but few have the potential to ignite quite like the brewing tension between Sharon Newman and newcomer Sienna Bacall. From the moment Sienna arrived in town, she made it clear she wasn't just another face in the crowd. She came with charm, intelligence, and a mysterious edge that immediately turned heads, especially those of men who should probably know better. But the one person who sees right through her polished exterior is Sharon Newman. And as fans know, when Sharon senses danger, she doesn't back down. The chemistry between these two women isn't friendly, it's volatile. Because no matter how you look at it, Sharon and Sienna are complete polar opposites in every sense of the word. Their clash isn't just about jealousy or competition, it's about two women who see the world through entirely different lenses, colliding head-on in a battle of heart versus ambition, sincerity versus manipulation, and light versus shadow. Sharon Newman has long been the emotional heartbeat of The Young and the Restless. A woman of deep compassion, faith, and resilience, she has endured heartbreak, scandal, loss, and mental health struggles, all while remaining true to herself. She has made. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Mistakes, yes, but she's learned from them. She's empathetic, self-aware, and always searching for balance in her life. For Sharon, honesty and healing are everything. She's not perfect, but she tries to live with integrity, to forgive even when it hurts, and to see the good in others, sometimes to her own detriment. Sienna Bacall, on the other hand, is her perfect foil. Where Sharon's strength lies in vulnerability and warmth, Sienna's power comes from calculation and charm. She's sophisticated, assertive, and unapologetically ambitious. While Sharon's emotional depth draws people in, Sienna's allure lies in her mystery. She's the kind of woman who never lets anyone see her sweat, always seeming 2 steps ahead in every conversation. But underneath that cool composure, there's a sharpness, a willingness to manipulate and maneuver to get what she wants. The contrast between these two women couldn't be starker, and that's exactly what makes their dynamic so captivating. Sharon represents authenticity. Sienna represents performance. Sharon builds trust, Sienna exploits it. Sharon listens to her intuition and leads with her heart, while Sienna reads the room and adapts her behavior to suit her goals. When their worlds collide, sparks don't just fly, they explode. The friction between Sharon and Sienna has been simmering beneath the surface since Sienna began orbiting around Nick Newman. For decades, Sharon and Nick have shared an unbreakable bond, one that transcends marriages, heartbreak, and years of emotional turmoil. They're soulmates in every sense of the word, and even when they're apart, there's always something lingering between them. Sienna noticed that immediately. To her, Sharon is a reminder of everything she's not, a woman loved for her heart, not her image. And that's something Sienna can't stand. While Sharon sees Nick as family, Sienna sees him as a challenge. Her attraction to him isn't just romantic, it's strategic. She wants to prove she can win over the one man who's always belonged, in some way, to Sharon. For Sharon, that's not just threatening, it's infuriating. She's not the jealous type anymore, but Sienna's presence stirs something primal inside her. The problem is, Sharon can sense the darkness behind Sienna's polished facade. She knows manipulation when she sees it. And every time Sienna flashes that perfect smile, Sharon can feel the deceit radiating off her like perfume. The irony is that Sharon's instincts are rarely wrong, but in this case, her truth-telling could backfire. If she warns Nick about Sienna, she risks looking jealous or controlling. If she stays quiet, she watches another woman try to wrap her claws around someone she still deeply cares for. It's a lose-lose situation, and Sienna knows it. That's what makes her so dangerous. But beyond Nick, there's something even deeper fueling the tension between these two. Sharon and Sienna's philosophies on life couldn't be more different. Sharon believes in redemption. Sienna believes in reinvention. To Sharon, people can heal and change if they face their pain. To Sienna, emotions are weaknesses to be managed, not embraced. This fundamental difference makes every conversation between them a subtle war of worldviews. Sharon wants to connect, Sienna wants to control. Sharon speaks from the heart, Sienna speaks to manipulate. It's a battle of authenticity versus artifice, and in Genoa City, that's a story that always ends in fireworks. Imagine a scene at Crimson Lights, Sharon's sanctuary, where the two women sit across from each other, coffee cups in hand, pretending to be civil. The air is thick with tension. Sharon smiles politely, asking what Sienna's really after in town. Sienna responds with a poised smirk, deflecting with charm and feigned innocence. To outsiders, it looks like two women chatting. But to viewers, it's clear that they're circling each other like predators, testing boundaries, waiting for the other to strike first. The conversation might seem calm, but every word is laced with hidden meaning. Sharon's intuition is screaming. Sienna's strategy is unfolding. It's a classic soap setup, the calm before the storm. And when the storm hits, it'll change everything. The emotional intensity between these two women isn't just about romantic rivalry, it's about identity. Sharon has spent years reclaiming her life and proving her worth. Sienna represents everything Sharon used to fear: deception, manipulation, and the kind of cold ambition that destroys people in its wake. Sienna, meanwhile, sees Sharon as a relic of the past, a sentimental woman clinging to values that don't get results. To Sienna, Sharon's kindness is weakness. But to Sharon, Sienna's calculated demeanor is soulless. Their feud becomes a mirror of two generations of womanhood, one that believes in the power of empathy, and another that believes power comes from control. It's not just a clash of personalities, it's a battle for the soul of Genoa City itself. And what's most fascinating is how similar they secretly are beneath the surface. Both women are survivors. Both have scars they hide. Both crave love and respect, even if they chase it in completely different ways. That's what makes this rivalry so rich. They could easily destroy each other, or, if fate twists the story, they might find themselves forced to work together against a common enemy. Perhaps a larger threat emerges, someone tied to Sienna's past or one of Sharon's long-standing nemeses. Imagine the tension if Sharon and Sienna had to temporarily join forces, forced to set aside their animosity for survival. The uneasy alliance could expose new layers in both women. Sienna might start to see the strength in Sharon's compassion, while Sharon could learn that not everything about Sienna is as black and white as it seems. But make no mistake, even if they ever find common ground, the undercurrent of rivalry will never disappear. Genoa City thrives on emotional complexity, and Sharon vs. Sienna has all the ingredients for a long, gripping feud filled with betrayal, revenge, and even reluctant respect. In the end, their differences are both their greatest strength and their greatest curse. Sharon will never stop believing in redemption, while Sienna will never stop believing in control. One leads with her heart, the other with her mind. One nurtures, the other conquers. One builds, the other takes. And that's why they're destined to clash again and again. Sharon and Sienna aren't just polar opposites, they're two sides of the same coin, reflecting the eternal struggle between light and shadow, truth and illusion, love and ambition. Their story is just beginning, and it's already shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged rivalries The Young and the Restless has ever seen. Genoa City has no idea what's coming, but one thing is certain: when these two opposites collide, the fallout will leave everyone reeling, and nothing will ever be the same again. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Sienna is dishonest about Noah. Sharon's worst fears are coming true. Genoa City's calm is once again being shattered by deceit, manipulation, and emotional chaos, and at the center of it all is the mysterious Sienna Bacall. Ever since her arrival, Sienna has been a walking enigma, beautiful, ambitious, and dangerously secretive. Everyone in town can sense she's hiding something, but no one knows exactly what. That's about to change, because new whispers suggest Sienna's biggest secret involves none other than Noah Newman, Sharon and Nick's son. For Sharon, this isn't just gossip, it's a nightmare in the making. She's been down this road before, watching her children get caught in webs of lies spun by cunning outsiders. But Sienna's game is far more sinister. The truth is slowly surfacing, and it appears Sienna hasn't been honest about her connection to Noah, or what really happened between them before she set foot in Genoa City. Sienna has made it her mission to win over everyone in the Newman orbit, but her charm and poise are just the surface of something much darker. At first, she made small talk with Sharon, all smiles and friendly gestures, pretending to be interested in her counseling work in her famous coffee shop, Crimson Lights. She's even managed to get close to Nick, creating a spark that's left Sharon feeling uneasy. But what Sharon doesn't know is that Sienna has been keeping a huge secret that could destroy the fragile balance in her family, and it all leads back to Noah. Rumors are swirling that Sienna and Noah have a hidden history. Before she arrived in Genoa City, Sienna may have crossed paths with Noah in London, where he spent several years focusing on art and self-discovery. Their connection could have been brief, or it could have been much more intense than anyone realizes. Some insiders speculate that Sienna might have been involved in Noah's personal or professional life overseas, perhaps even playing a role in one of his biggest artistic successes, or failures. But the real bombshell is that Sienna hasn't been honest about it. When confronted by curious residents about her past, Sienna reportedly brushes off questions, insisting she's never met a Newman before. But fans are starting to suspect she's lying, and Sharon's intuition is screaming that something's not right. Sharon's protective instincts for her children are legendary. She's fought for them through every storm, custody battles, health crises, even danger from unhinged enemies. So when she starts to sense that Sienna is manipulating the truth about Noah, her instincts go into overdrive. What worries her most is not just that Sienna is lying, but why. What could she be hiding that's so explosive? Some believe Sienna and Noah may have shared a romantic past that ended badly, something Noah doesn't want to talk about. Maybe she used him for connections, money, or artistic influence while abroad. Maybe she betrayed him and is now hoping no one finds out. Whatever the truth, it's clear Sienna is working overtime to bury it. But Sharon has seen these patterns before. She knows the signs of a manipulator who's weaving a web of deceit, and she's not about to let anyone toy with her family again. Imagine the tension when Sharon starts asking gentle but pointed questions, only to be met with Sienna's trademark coolness and denial. "Oh, Noah. I might have seen him at a gallery once," Sienna could say with a shrug, her eyes betraying a flicker of something darker. But Sharon isn't fooled. She can feel the undercurrent of guilt and discomfort. It's a classic Genoa City power play, the battle between intuition and deceit, and Sharon is determined to expose the truth. The situation grows more complicated when Noah himself returns to town. If he does, the energy in the room will shift instantly. He knows Sienna's lying, but why stay quiet? Perhaps he's ashamed of what happened between them, or maybe Sienna has something over him, a secret she's using as leverage to keep him silent. The chemistry between them could be undeniable, but underneath it lies betrayal, resentment, and fear. If Sienna was dishonest with him once, she might be doing it again now, this time with his entire family. Sharon's worst nightmare is seeing her son dragged into another toxic relationship. She's watched Noah fall for the wrong women before, and she knows how much it's cost him emotionally. But Sienna isn't like the others, she's more dangerous because she knows how to play people. She knows how to appear fragile when she needs sympathy and confident when she wants control. The question now is, what's her endgame? Some fans speculate Sienna could be after more than love, perhaps money, revenge, or even access to Newman resources. Her decision to insert herself into Nick's orbit could be strategic, especially if she hopes to keep the family distracted from her connection to Noah. The more Sharon digs, the angrier Sienna becomes. What started as polite tension between them quickly turns into open hostility. Sienna starts gaslighting Sharon, making her doubt her own instincts, implying she's being paranoid or overprotective. "You seem tense, Sharon. Are you sure you're not reading too much into things?" Sienna might purr, her voice dripping with fake concern. But Sharon's too seasoned for those tricks. She's been manipulated before, by the likes of Phyllis, Chelsea, and even men like Adam and Cameron Kirsten. She's learned the hard way to trust her gut. And her gut is telling her that Sienna is lying through her teeth. The stage is set for a showdown, and the emotional stakes couldn't be higher. Once the truth comes out, and it will, Genoa City could be rocked by revelations that tie Sienna not only to Noah but possibly to other shady figures from the past. Could she be working with someone, perhaps an old rival of the Newmans or someone with a vendetta against Sharon herself? Maybe Sienna's connection to Noah wasn't romantic at all, maybe it was part of something more dangerous, like a scam, a cover-up, or even a crime. If Sharon discovers that Sienna used her son in any way, there will be no turning back. Sharon's fury, when unleashed, is legendary. She may seem gentle, but when her family is threatened, she transforms into one of the most formidable forces in Genoa City. And Sienna, no matter how clever she thinks she is, might finally meet her match. As the tension builds, fans can expect emotional fireworks, intense confrontations, and shocking twists. Imagine the moment when Sharon confronts Sienna in public, her voice shaking but her eyes fierce. "You lied about Noah," she could say. "And I'm going to find out why." That one line could send Sienna's carefully constructed facade crumbling. Her lies, once exposed, could destroy her. Budding relationships, isolate her allies, and paint a target on her back. Noah's reaction will also be key. Will he protect her or expose her? His silence might have been born from guilt, but once the truth is out, he'll have to choose between loyalty to his family and his complicated feelings for Sienna. Meanwhile, Nick's world could be thrown into turmoil. He's been drawn to Sienna's charisma, unaware that she's been keeping the biggest secret of all, the kind that directly involves his own son. The betrayal would sting deeply, reigniting old wounds between Nick and Sharon, and forcing them to work together once again to protect their family. This storyline has all the makings of a classic Young and the Restless saga: lies, love, betrayal, and redemption. The layers of deceit, emotional manipulation, and family loyalty create a perfect storm of drama that could define the next big chapter in Genoa City. In the end, Sienna's dishonesty about Noah might not just destroy her relationship with the Newmans, it could destroy her entirely. Because in Genoa City, secrets never stay buried for long. And when the truth finally explodes into the open, Sharon Newman will make sure everyone knows exactly who Sienna Bacall really is. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Sharon, Nick and Sienna love triangle? Genoa City heats up as emotions explode. The storm clouds are gathering once again in Genoa City, and this time they're circling around one of the most complicated relationships in soap history, Sharon Newman and Nick Newman. The two have spent decades entangled in a cycle of love, heartbreak, forgiveness, and reunion, but just when it seemed like they were finally finding peace in their friendship, a new player has entered the picture and thrown everything into chaos. Her name? Sienna Bacall. She's beautiful, mysterious, and dangerously charismatic, the kind of woman who knows exactly how to turn heads and stir emotions wherever she goes. And now, it looks like she's found herself right in the middle of one of Genoa City's most legendary pairings. Could Chic be heading for another emotional roller coaster thanks to Sienna's arrival? Fans are buzzing with speculation that a Sharon, Nick, and Sienna love triangle is forming, and if it's true, it's going to be explosive. Sharon and Nick's relationship is the kind that defines daytime television. They've shared a love story that has spanned decades, raising children, surviving betrayals, enduring tragic losses, and always finding their way back to one another. Even when they're not together romantically, the connection between them runs deep. They understand each other's hearts like no one else can. But lately, there's been an unspoken tension, a sense that something's unfinished, lingering beneath the surface. Sharon might not say it out loud, but part of her still loves Nick. She always will. Then along comes Sienna Bacall, the woman who seems to walk through life like she owns the air around her. When Nick met Sienna, he was drawn to her immediately. She's confident, direct, and knows how to make a man feel seen. But what Nick doesn't realize is that Sienna is far more complicated than she appears. Her charm is real, but so is her agenda. And the closer she gets to Nick, the more suspicious Sharon becomes. It starts small. Sharon notices Sienna dropping by Newman Media a little too often, conveniently running into Nick at Society, and asking questions about his past relationships. She's subtle, but Sharon has been around long enough to know manipulation when she sees it. When she finally tries to warn Nick, he brushes her off, insisting that Sienna's just a friend. "You're overthinking it, Sharon," he might say with that classic half-smile, not realizing he's walking straight into a trap. But Sharon can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. She's seen women like Sienna before, women who use charm to get what they want, women who pretend to care while playing a much deeper game. Sienna, of course, knows exactly what she's doing. She's studied Nick, learned his emotional weak spots, and knows how to make him feel like the center of her world. And in classic soap fashion, the more Sharon warns Nick, the more he defends Sienna. It's a recipe for emotional disaster. The tension builds as Sharon's concern starts to sound like jealousy. Sienna takes full advantage, painting herself as the victim of Sharon's overprotectiveness. "I know Sharon means well," she might tell Nick sweetly, "but sometimes she just can't let go of the past." Those words sting. For Nick, Sharon's always been his touchstone, but now he finds himself doubting her intentions. For Sharon, it's like history repeating itself. The woman who once shared every secret with him is now watching another take her place. But beneath the jealousy and suspicion lies something deeper, unresolved love. Every time Sharon and Nick argue about Sienna, the emotional walls between them crack. Their chemistry reignites, their old feelings bubble to the surface, and the lines between anger and desire blur. One heated argument could easily turn into a moment of passion, leaving both of them reeling, and Sienna watching from the shadows with a dangerous glint in her eye. Because make no mistake, Sienna isn't going to sit back and let Sharon steal her spotlight. She's not just interested in Nick for romance, she wants control, validation, and maybe even revenge. What if Sienna's connection to Nick isn't as innocent as it seems? What if her sudden arrival in Genoa City was part of a plan to insert herself into the Newman family and use Nick's emotions as leverage? Perhaps her dishonesty about Noah is just the beginning, and her attraction to Nick is her way of gaining power. The real danger isn't just in the love triangle, it's in what Sienna's hiding. If Sharon uncovers the truth, she could expose Sienna for who she really is, but it would come at a cost. Nick might not believe her at first, especially if Sienna's already twisted the narrative to make Sharon look untrustworthy. The emotional toll could be enormous. Sharon would be torn between protecting the man she loves and watching him walk into the arms of someone who might destroy him. Meanwhile, Sienna's jealousy of Sharon would reach a fever pitch. Every glance between Sharon and Nick, every tender moment, every reminder of their shared history would drive her closer to the edge. She might start plotting ways to undermine Sharon's reputation, subtle rumors, manipulative conversations, even setting her up to look unstable or possessive. It's a strategy that could work, especially given Sharon's history with mental health. If Sienna can make Nick, and others, doubt Sharon's stability, she gains the upper hand. The drama would be unbearable for Sharon. Once again, she'd find herself fighting for her truth in a world that questions her every move. But this time, she's stronger. She's older, wiser, and no longer the woman who falls apart when others manipulate her. If Sienna thinks she can outsmart Sharon Newman, she's in for a rude awakening. Sharon's greatest weapon has always been her empathy. She doesn't just see people, she understands them. That's what makes her dangerous to Sienna. While Sienna's busy playing her game, Sharon will be quietly collecting clues, piecing together the truth, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When that moment comes, the fallout will be explosive. Imagine the confrontation, Sharon and Sienna face to face, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. You think you can play with Nick's heart and get away with it? Sharon could say, her voice calm but cold. You don't know what real love is, Sienna. You only know how to fake it. Sienna would smirk, unbothered, but her confidence would falter. Careful, Sharon. Jealousy doesn't look good on you, she might reply, but her tone would lack its usual control. Then, as the truth unravels, Sienna's lies about Noah, her manipulation of Nick, and her hidden motives, everything would collapse around her. Nick, blindsided and heartbroken, would have to face the reality that once again, Sharon was right. But by then, the damage might already be done. Sharon and Nick's relationship could be stronger, or forever fractured, depending on how deep Sienna's manipulation goes. The emotional fallout would ripple through Genoa City, affecting everyone in their orbit. Faith, Mariah, even Victor and Nikki would take sides as the town buzzed with gossip about the twisted love triangle that tore through the Newmans once again. Yet, beneath all the chaos, one thing would remain constant, Sharon and Nick's unbreakable bond. No matter how much pain, betrayal, or misunderstanding passes between them, they always find their way back. And maybe, just maybe, this ordeal could finally force them to confront what they've both been avoiding for years, that they still love each other. As for Sienna, her time in the spotlight might be short-lived. Once her lies are exposed, her reign of manipulation could come crashing down, leaving her isolated and desperate. But don't count her out just yet. Genoa City has a way of turning even the most hated characters into redemption stories. Perhaps she'll come back stronger, vowing revenge on those who destroyed her plans. For now, though, all eyes are on Sharon, Nick, and Sienna. Their tangled emotions, shifting loyalties, and dangerous secrets are setting the stage for one of The Young and the Restless' most gripping love triangles in years. Will Sharon and Nick's eternal bond survive another test? Or will Sienna Bacall succeed in tearing them apart once and for all? One thing is certain, hearts will break, truths will burn, and love will never be the same again in Genoa City.